Hello and welcome to
Pop Off, Sis! The show where we talk about life, current events, and, well, ourselves.
I'm your co-host Lydia.
And I'm your co-host Margot. Welcome to this week's episode.
Hello everyone, welcome back. How's everyone? Margot, how are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you, Lydia?
I'm great. And you know why I'm great, Margot?
Why are you great?
Because we have a very special guest with us today.
Oh, and who might that guest be?
She is amazing. I met her freshman year and basically we just hit it off. It was love at first sight. No, she is just very welcoming. The first thing I thought of her is like this freshman year girl full of energy, wanting me to hang out with her and her friends. She lived 2 floors above me in our freshman dorm. So we thought it was important and very, just necessary for you to meet her. So please welcome Miss Alana Caesar. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you? Like you said, freshman year. I forgot we met literally first semester.
Yeah.
It was first
like
semester.
a random weeknight, I think.
And I was like down through it because I was like, oh, I like her.
Yeah.
We're gonna be friends, whether you want to be or not.
I think y'all were like, Karuchi, Jamaica, who is this?
Karuchi. We saw a little girl who looked like Karuchi down the hall, and we were like, wait, we want that one.
Yeah. We want that. I was like, oh, yay.
We're both so extra, so
Wow.
it worked out.
I think that's what it is.
We were both so extra.
Oh, I love it.
What month were you born?
December.
Oh, you're a Capricorn?
I'm a Sagittarius.
Oh, so close.
You're
I'm a Capricorn.
because you're so when's your
I'm
birthday?
later, 26.
Right. So you're almost January. So
Yeah.
right. Got it. Well, December, we're the best month.
We are the
And
best month.
Margot is
December 2nd.
she's the day
She's
after
a
me,
beautiful
so we're vibing today.
I mean, we
Wow.
really are.
So Alana, can you tell everyone a little bit about yourself? Anything you want.
Wow. Where do I want to start? I'm from Virginia. I guess that's where people always start, like, the stand-up in class. Like, hi, where are you from?
Right.
I'm from Southern Virginia. And I only say Southern because I used to say Virginia, and then people would be like, oh, you're from Nova. And I'm like, no, ma'am. And they'd be like, oh, so you're from Richmond? And I'm like, no. And they're like, that's the furthest I know. Anything further than that is North Carolina to me. So I was like, okay, I'm from Hampton Roads, Virginia. Nobody knows what that is. I just say Virginia Beach.
Is that near Hampton or no?
Yes.
Oh.
See, but honestly, but a lot of people don't know where Hampton is. They just say, oh, I vacationed at Virginia Beach once. And I'm like, that's cute. I am a government and broadcast journalism dual degree candidate.
Period.
Period, boo. I had to get out of here. What else? My favorite celebrity. Ooh, that was one of you said. Megan Thee Stallion. That's it.
What do you like about her?
She's like unapologetically herself.
Mm.
She's a woman like taking over an industry that has so long been correlated with only men being able to be mainstream successful. And if women were, they were like siloed and be like, oh, but you're good, but as a woman. And people realize like, no, she's just good. Like there is no as a woman after it. Slash she's like talking about men the way men talk about women in music. And so many men are thrown off by it. They're like, oh, she's so disgusting. I'm like, you've been listening to men talk about flipping and turning and dipping women for the last 40 years. But as soon as a woman says the same thing about a man, then it's like, all hell breaks loose.
Right. Oh.
Which is just like our society.
Great
in a
choice.
nutshell.
And great explanation. I feel that.
And hobbies. What do I like? I like happy hours. I like reading. I like hanging out with my friends. I love watching movies. I watch movies all day. Honestly, like brainstorming like new ideas. Even if I don't do them, like certain things, I'm like, I want to do this. Like I want to start this group or get these people together. Like creating. I like creating.
That's awesome.
Margot
I
likes
feel
that.
that. I love
Yeah.
creating.
And writing. God, I love writing.
So our first segment is our rose and our thorn. So that is our highlight
this is
and
cute.
low light of the week. So
Okay.
Alana, what is your rose and what is your thorn?
So one is that I got a really fun like job opportunity for next semester, which is great. But the thorn, which shouldn't be a thorn, is that something else also came right after it that I equally want, and now I don't know what to choose.
That's
a
hard spot.
It's like a very grateful thorn. Like,
Yeah.
You're like, ooh.
I overslept yesterday, though. That's a real thorn. My alarms were silent. They didn't go off for real.
Did you have class?
Yes.
Oh, no.
That's the worst when that happens.
Did you
I
make
feel
it?
Yes, I look crusty, but I made it.
Well, you don't look crusty today.
You know how to do a little sentence, you know.
Go on our Instagram and look at the picture because
No, I have to go to a happy hour after this. See?
Yeah,
See?
that's your excuse.
Don't blame me, Lydia.
Well, congratulations on the job opportunities.
Well,
That's
it's an internship.
awesome.
It's not like a job.
Shoot.
Yeah, but it's
It's
an
something.
opportunity to get a job.
Correct.
Yeah.
And senioritis has kicked in fully, and I don't know how y'all feel about that, but like senioritis caught me up in like September, and she ain't got off my back yet.
My rose this week is that we're on winter break right now,
Ew.
and my only plans are Netflix and eating. That's all I've been doing.
I thought you
and
said
this podcast.
Netflix. And I was
Netflix.
like, I've never heard of that
Ooh,
one.
that's
but,
I feel like that's better. That's a new. Okay, you heard it here first. Alana Caesar, Netflix.
I won't be followed by that statement.
She's like, I don't affiliate these tweets.
But yes, if it takes off, I said that.
This blows up. You heard. I was
Like,
gonna
that's
say,
weird.
I'm understanding now why people, when they say they're not excited to graduate or quote unquote not ready, I get that. You know.
But like, I'm ready to go.
I'm ready to go.
I'm
I'm
ready
ready
to
to be
go.
an adult. Right. Right. I'm excited to be a young adult
Right.
just in the world and not to be
Taking on the
thinking
world.
in either semesters or like summer time frames, you know?
But like 40-hour work weeks are a lot. Honestly, who works
40
40
hour
hours
work-
or more?
Ooh.
At this point, we're at like 50.
Who is
Because
she?
your phone is attached to you at all times. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not ready.
I know. What about you, Margot? What's your rose and thorn?
So, guys, my rose this week is that, wow, what an experience. I went to Equinox for the first time this week. Like, the Equinox. Like,
I need every bad bitch of an Equinox. I want to know right now if you're freaking nut.
Okay.
Sorry. You don't know. Sorry. It's a Kanye song, and I just had to.
I mean, that's how I felt in there. Guys, Equinox, I hate to say it, but it's a dream. You walk in, and you know how people are like, it's not a gym, it's a lifestyle or something. Like, I get why they say that now. Like, it is that nice. The locker rooms, they have the nicest products. That body wash, it was grapefruit, and but it smelled like oranges or clementines or something. It was delicious. They have free razors, free toothbrushes. They have such nice body lotion, face lotion, anything you could need in there. They have a steam room. They have really nice showers. Just like an altogether great space, hair dryers, you know, all of that shit. They have such nice equipment. And it's just more than that. It's the general atmosphere in Equinox. First of all, everybody's in there is fit and hot. So it's like when you're doing your workout, you're looking at people who are like so fit and you're like, I want to be one of these people. And also when I walked into the locker room, all of the ladies were chatting. Like they all knew each other or something. Felt really like a little community. They have study spaces. They have lounges. They have a cafeteria. They have all this shit, and it is beautiful.
Wow. I feel like I want to go now. I've always wanted to go. Oh,
And
how did you get to go?
Well, I was visiting my boyfriend in New York, and the way my boyfriend goes to Equinox is his roommate has a membership, and it's just like a barcode that you scan, and so he has his roommate's barcode, so they both go on one membership. But his friend in law school also goes to Equinox, and he is like friends with the people who work there. So I got a free guest pass, which was clutch because I think guest passes are like $30 or $40 or something.
Whoa.
It was just a great experience, a great workout, and I just felt refreshed and rejuvenated. And my thorn is just that winter break is going by way too quickly.
I know.
Way too fast. I'm ready, but I'm not ready for
You feel
spring semester.
pressure for things you should be doing. That's part of the thorn. Like you feel pressure for things you should be doing, but you don't want to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Don't want to do it.
for sure.
Procrastination.
Procrastination
queen.
is my middle name.
Queen.
Stand her. Okay, well, what is our theme this week, Margot? Tell the people.
Our theme is politics and social media.
Hit me. Get
Yes.
this.
I mean, Alana, you're the queen of politics, and I thought of you right
Don't
away.
do that. Don't do that. You're gassing people up for something that's not going to deliver.
Yeah, so I thought of you right away when I thought we're talking about politics. I was like, she's got to be a part of this conversation because you're just so wise. You have so much to say on it. And, you know, we do want
Don't
to make
lie to the people like that.
we do want to make a disclaimer that anything we talk about is purely our opinions. You know, this is just our perspective.
Mhm.
And I personally, and I know Alana and Margot feel the same, that we're open to everyone's opinions. I love exercising my mind, and in that I mean I love being stretched. I love
Oh yes, girl.
Can we keep that? We're keeping that. We are keeping
You
that.
have to keep that. And then do a little bleep noise and then do it again.
I love when people challenge my ideas. I love challenging other people's opinions, but if anything, topics like these are learning exercises, and I just think that we want to make it known that we are here to learn and also just share our opinions, but not force anyone to think a certain way or feel like we're trying to preach any specific thing. So I just wanted to make that known. So I feel like there's so many ways we could take this topic.
I have an idea.
Okay.
Well, more like an anecdote. I feel like we all realize that, especially with the last election, that social media and politics are extremely linked. And when I was in high school, I didn't realize that. And I didn't realize that your news feed was geared towards you and the politics that you were clicking on and the articles that you were reacting to. These algorithms learn how you think, and then they make it so that they cater everything to the way that they think you think, which I think can be extremely dangerous because then you are only seeing one side of the narrative. So, for example, I guess I was a freshman in college when Trump was elected president, and being someone from DC and having like very liberal friends and only really reading liberal articles and stuff like that, I thought Hillary was a shoo-in. Like, I thought there was no way Trump would win. And then, surprise, surprise, I remember that night when he won, and I was thinking so much about what would it have been like if I hadn't had all these articles and all of my news feeds looking the same exact way just because of the way that I thought. And I think it can be very dangerous, and I think it can keep us to thinking only in our own mindset and not realizing that half of the country thinks a different way than we do. What do you guys think about that?
I think that is so true, and I don't think I think about that enough, and I think a lot of people maybe need to think about that more. What we're watching, what we're surrounding ourselves with is what we agree with, and I think that comes in a lot of forms, but especially on social media. And I remember thinking the same thing. She was a shoo-in. There was no chance, just look at the debates. Like, she clearly won everyone, that kind of thing. So that's a good point.
Yeah, like we have what we call like filter bubbles, and so we live within those on our social media platforms, whether we like consciously do it or unconsciously do it, but most of us consciously do it. Like, you're not going to follow someone who doesn't agree with your political beliefs or your just life beliefs in general, because either you consciously are like, I don't like what this person is like putting out or saying, or it's just like I don't like not just dislike it, I like vehemently disagree with it or like have a distaste for it, and so you'll stray away from it as far as possible. So I think that's really interesting when we look at like what other people's networks look like and what their platform, like if you took someone like saying you're very liberal, if you had taken a boy from the Midwest who had grown up in a very conservative family, I say he was 16 the same time you were, and you both had just gotten social media, and his views aligned with his family's, like your platforms look so different, but your feeds will look so different, but you're using the same platforms. Right. And I think we think because there's so many people on social media, that's like, oh, I'm bound to get information that's going to trickle in from those types of feeds and information too, but it's like not likely at all. And it's good when we go out of our way to before even that, it's interesting because people in less represented areas, you could say, or less populated areas closer to the Midwest and further out that way will say like the hubs like New York and California and DC and even parts of Texas now, they're like very blue. Like, we only focus on those in media, and so media, if you're overlooking us, you're not going to see that our sentiment hasn't changed. And so if our coverage is always focused on areas that we know are highly liberal, you could say, then it's very easy for us to believe that like, oh, we've come so far and our nation looks so different, and it's like, it does, but it does not look that different in every area,
right? And
that I think we've pulled the veil over our own eyes, I guess, in a sense, to be like, oh yeah, like I live here and I'm surrounded by people who look this different, who have this many different backgrounds, religious beliefs, and it's like, yeah, but what about people from many other states who do not have the same experiences, and you're assuming because this is your environment, because this is what you see, there's like that for everyone, and it's not. So then, like, you have things like white lash happen, which is what happened in the 2016 election. Like, people who were not happy the entire Obama presidency and possibly before that, but, like, we didn't hear them because we weren't paying attention to them.
Interesting. So also, do you have any thoughts or what you think might be important for the media, and as someone entering the workforce and entering this new generation and entering the new generation of media professionals, the responsibility the media can have in making sure certain things don't happen in the future politically, or making sure everyone's story is told, every perspective as much as possible is portrayed?
Yeah, because like we've seen that the residual effects of what can happen when people aren't heard. And granted, there are certain beliefs that I for one will never align with, and I'm sure a lot of other people in their middle grounds that won't be reached. And often my belief is that if your middle ground violates my rights, then there is no middle ground. Like, if you're like, oh well, I just believe this, and I'm like, great, but as a XYZ or whatever, that clearly and inherently violates my existence and my rights, so there is no middle ground for us. But like taking more into account of shows and magazines and documentaries and going into areas that are traditionally like what was that one, like, was it Life magazine? No, it wasn't Life. I'm not gonna call someone out because I don't know what magazine it was. But they did the cover story on like the white boy from the Midwest who was like came from a very conservative family and was not sure of like why people were so upset about the election. Like, it was something like that, and it's just like trying to get more insight into that area, and they got a lot of backlash for doing that because they're like, there's so many other stories you cover, why this? Like, and then, or like I forget who does the show too, but like this guy who's traveling America and like going again into those areas, like he met with the Ku Klux Klan and like other things, like just trying to put more light onto those areas. I'm not necessarily saying that from either side it's good or bad. I think it's good to see where other people are coming from, but I think at the end of the day, if you stand for something I wholeheartedly disagree with, there is not much conversation to be had. That's my personal opinion. We can talk all day, but it's not gonna, like, just like I'm not gonna change your beliefs. Likely, it's possible, and we've seen it happen. You're not gonna change my beliefs about who I am as a person, if that makes sense, if what you believe goes against my rights.
Yeah, I think that middle ground thing is really interesting that you brought up, and that's why I think
you always want to reach a middle ground, but sometimes it's like what you believe and what I believe go against each other.
Yeah, and also that's why I think they're interesting, those YouTube videos. Have you seen those that it's like
the middle completely ground? Oh god, I love those.
Oh, I don't know if that's it, but you know what I'm talking about, like it's two completely different, like abortion versus non-abortion, that kind of thing. Those
I think there's like insight to be gained and things that don't. So like if I was coming to someone and we had two different religious backgrounds, for some people that's the deal breaker, but for me that is not a problem. But if it was someone who was like, I hate Black people and I hate women, I'm like, there's not much conversation to be had here.
I'm not changing your mind
because that is a part of who I am. Like,
right, and
you know
and
what I'm saying?
first
Like,
of
there's
all,
a difference.
They may not even listen to you try and change their mind because you are those two things that they hate. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Black woman. You know,
like
so.
I had a professor once who told me it was kind of dismal. She was like, oh yeah, the more educated you are, and the more you learn about like law and politics and the political system in general and parties, the more entrenched you become in your own beliefs. So the more enlightened we become and the more educated we become, like statistically those are the same people who are harder to change their opinions, because it kind of makes sense. Like you can't who's like, I've studied XYZ and I have this many degrees, like you're not going to change my mind.
Right.
So like, and then I was like, well, what about if we watch like different networks? So if I always watch this network, like this conservative one, and I watch a liberal, and then I go watch a conservative, or literature. And she was like, also because of the cognitive dissonance that it creates, it also it's not impossible, but it makes it very hard, especially if you're more educated, to sit down and do that, because the whole time you're intaking that information, you're creating immediate responses that negate whatever was just said, if that makes sense. So like I could be watching an outlet that I don't necessarily agree with, and I'm like, no, I'm going to watch this and like expand my horizons, which is good. I still do that, but like in your head, you're still subconsciously or unconsciously, whatever, like making up reasons for why you don't agree with most of what's being said right there.
Right.
I still think it's worth it to like know what's being said so you at least know what's being reported, but it's kind of dismal to think about.
So, really quickly, what do you think of Twitter's new political ban?
I honestly don't know. Is that a bad answer? I think candidates still can post their own on their own individual pages. They just can't like have the ads. It's like, oh, as president, but like Bernie Sanders or like Trump or Elizabeth Warren and everyone could still tweet in their individual page or something. So I don't know if I hate it. I think it's like up to them. Like they made that choice, and seeing that Facebook has like very little control over or doesn't want much control over what is said politically on their site, I feel like some type of stance is better than no stance.
Well, that was quite the interesting discussion. And now, to get a little bit of our anger out, it is time for Savage Seconds, the segment where we will each today have 20 seconds to pop off about literally anything that we want. So, putting a minute on the clock. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, this is really odd, but why is it, ladies, that the back of your neck, okay, you know what I'm talking about, that hair at the nape of your neck, you know, that soft little piece, is the best piece of hair on your head? Like, it literally is covered up by all your other hair, but it's literally, I know this is so odd, Margot's laughing at me, but it's the fucking best piece of hair on my head, and no one can see it. Ugh.
Mine definitely has to do with my name, in a sense. People will ask me, like, oh, but Alana's not your real name. No. Don't do that. Alana is my real name. It's my middle name. It's on my birth certificate. But Vivian is my first name. Or they'll say, why did you choose to go by Alana? I didn't choose. It was what was told to me when I was younger, and that's just what it is. So, yes, I have many names, and it's fine.
Why do women have to pay for tampons? Excuse me. And also, when I go to fucking school and I'm paying all this money to attend this university, yet they can't just put some fucking cardboard tampons in the bathroom. Okay, I'm not talking about the Tampax, but just like fucking put some in there. Thank you.
Oh, look at that timing. Yes, that is a good one, Margot.
Thank you.
Facts.
Not the cardboard.
Not
Those things
cardboard.
hurt. They're so vicious.
Well, I use those because I'm trying to go
Why?
because I'm trying to use less plastic.
Oh, wow, you could really be more environmentally sound in like all parts of life. I didn't even think about that.
The
Like,
cardboard.
it's
I'm just
like
thinking
the
of like residual pain.
applicator.
Like everyone has used one of those, and it's painful.
Okay, we've done quite the popping off today, but we want to end, of course, on our positive note. So let's let our lovely guest Alana go first with her
Oh, little old me.
quote of the day.
Guys,
What-
that it.
What is one of your favorite quotes that you've heard?
I'm going to say one I listened to on, it's the newest favorite quote. It's one I listened to on a podcast this week.
You mean ours?
Don't.
Oh my God, stop! How nice.
This is why we were friends. This is how we became friends right here. It was by Whitney Wolf, who is the founder of Bumble, and she was talking about a really rough period in her life, and she was like, her literal words were, you can't kill ambition. You can kill confidence, but you can't kill drive.
I love that. That's awesome.
Wow.
And I love that, because women, I feel like, are shamed sometimes for being ambitious.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's like looked upon as a dirty thing. It's like, no. Go for what you want.
Yeah.
Love that.
I've got one that also has to do with women by Carol K. Carr. It is amazing what a woman can do if she only ignores what men tell her she can't.
Say it loud or passive. Say it loud.
On the back. Yes.
That's a funny, happy coincidence that we both had quotes about women empowerment.
Make the world go round.
I know, and I think I'm just going to continue this female
Okay.
train with mine that says, the woman you're becoming will cost you people, relationships, spaces, and material things. Choose her over everything.
Wow.
I'm trying.
We're really trying out here. It's an unknown quote. I don't know who said it, but I appreciate whoever said it.
Wow. That was a good
like,
one.
it's true, right?
It's
like,
true. It's kind of like bittersweet, but it's true.
Right.
Oh,
Something
bittersweet.
exactly. It is bittersweet because there's parts of it that are telling you to be selfish
Yeah.
and kind of put yourself first, which is hard to do sometimes.
Yeah.
That
but
is.
It's.
You feel bad. You feel like a bad person.
But someone also told me you go to sleep with yourself at the end of the day. You look yourself in the mirror. So
Okay.
So Alana, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. And
Last question. I have a question
Wait.
for you.
Yeah.
What's your favorite show?
What's my favorite show?
Your favorite musical or show? Just any show in general. It doesn't have to be a
I
musical.
really love Hedda Gabler.
Okay. Wow.
By Henrik Ibsen.
Ooh, that's a good one. I don't.
It's very feministy for its time period, and I just love it a lot.
Feministy. I just love theater. I always ask people what their favorite show is so I can go watch it if possible. I'm going to see it.
Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and thank you, Alana, so much for coming on our show. And we will see you guys in 2 weeks.
Stay warm.
Yes. Bye.
And that is our show.
Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at popoffsis.podcast and our personal accounts at Lydia__Parker
and at mtruve. Be sure to check out all of our episodes at popoffsis.wixsite.com/website. Thanks for listening.
And we'll see you next time.